Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about how to get inspired, and I know that a lot of you guys out there have this problem where you just, for the life of you, just can't get inspired, and I get it and I've been there. So I've written down some of my best tips. This is taken from my course. Now, for those of you who are after some course updates, it's going really well. I'm working full pelt at it right now, so it's basically just wrapping orders, doing some listing on Etsy, making the course and filming videos. That's literally what my weeks are made up of right now. So it's going really well. I hopefully will have some kind of like pre-launch link thing, hopefully at some point. I don't really know. I don't have like a timetable. I'm just literally I've given myself 12 weeks basically from January the 6th to make the basic course outline, and so far it's going pretty well. I'm hoping to have all the course outline done by sometime in March, but I will definitely keep updating you guys. But for now, let's get back to the content. So today we're going to talk about how to get inspired when you're not feeling inspired. Now, having a lack of inspiration can come after feeling really burnt out. So you've got over feeling burnt out, and then you kind of start to get back into the working lifestyle. You sit down and you just end up not having any creative process in your brain, and I get that. And if you didn't see my what to do when you feel burnt out video, it'll be on my channel. I'll try and link it in the description box somewhere around. But basically, yeah, after you've been burnt out is 99% of the time when you are feeling the most lack of inspiration. But in this video, we are going to go through how to get your mojo back, your inspiration back. So stay tuned and we will get into it now. So I think of inspiration as a ladder. Once you've got your foot in the first rung, you get another idea, another idea, another idea. So a great way to put this is, let's imagine that you make soap, right? And you think, okay, ooh, my phone just dropped on the floor. Sorry guys. So let's just imagine that you make soap, okay? And you put your foot in the rung by saying, okay, I want to make an exfoliating soap bar. Great. And then you start to think, yeah, but I could make that bar with lavender. I could make that bar with honey milk. I could make that bar with oat milk to help people with eczema. And you start to get more and more ideas. That's how I kind of think of inspiration. And kind of let me know, do you get one idea and then it just kind of leads off into a really great idea? Or do you just tend to just get ideas just poo just coming into your head? Because honestly, it's really interesting to me, the psychology of the creative process, and especially with handmade sellers as well, is that it's really interesting to me how random objects and being outside in nature and all of these things can lead to these wonderful ideas that literally have nothing to do with what you're actually looking at. It really fascinates me. So let me know how your inspiration tends to come for you below. Now, the biggest thing here is a little bonus tip is to always keep an ideas notebook. I've got an ideas note on my Evernote app. That is a lot of notes. But basically, I've always got it on my phone. Ideally, I'd like to have an actual physical notepad, because at least then if I can't get to my phone or the internet is not existent where I am, then I can just quickly write it down. But the biggest thing is to have a separate notebook for your ideas and keep it with you at all times. Literally keep it by your bed at night. That is also a really good time that I tend to get ideas. It's usually right before I fall asleep. I get flooded with new ideas. So definitely keep a notebook by your bedside and in your handbag when you go out, because inspiration can strike literally anywhere. So just make sure that you keep a notebook with you at all times. So the first biggest tip is to hold brainstorming sessions weekly, and this can kind of have mixed results, but the best thing I do is I get an A4 sheet of paper or an A3 sheet of paper, and I turn it on its side so it's a landscape view, and I just literally go to town, just making bubbles and writing ideas. And so, for example, if you're wanting to make a new product and you're wanting to build off of an existing bestseller. Now, we do go through this again in my course. I've just written that module actually, so that could be an interesting one. But I find that building new products kind of as a branch off of existing bestsellers is a really good tactic to do. So let's say, for example, that you make printables and one specific print has sold really well. Is there any way you can kind of incorporate that same idea into different prints or different colours, or is there any kind of spin-off of that particular type of print? So For example, if you make a print that says established 2019, let's say, so you put the two names at the top and you put established 2019 for a new relationship, or someone's just moved into their first home, you can literally do that for anything. You could do when they brought their first child home, or when they bought their first puppy home, or when they bought their first kitchen appliance, whatever. You can literally put that sentimental idea into a lot of different prints. So that's the kind of process that I mean when I say to brainstorm, is to think about what's already working for you. And also, another good thing to do is just to literally write down anything that pops into your head. Don't censor yourself. As silly as it sounds, sometimes I've put down a word, like a really, really weird word, and it just gets the ball rolling into a direction that is towards a really good idea or a really good bubble of inspiration. It's a really, inspiration and brainstorming is a really messy process when you're trying to explain it. But when you're in it and when you're literally writing down all of these different ideas on paper, it does make sense. So literally just get everything in your thoughts out on paper, and believe me, after half an hour or an hour, you will come up with a good few ideas that you would never have written down if it wasn't for holding these weekly brainstorming sessions. Another thing as well is that I tend to do this with someone that's close to me, like my husband, or sometimes my mum and my dad, and I tend to just throw ideas out there. At least this way you can have input from others that know you, that know how your brain works. And honestly, there's been some really good ideas that I have gotten from peers and things before. So definitely hold brainstorming sessions, and yeah, watch the amazing product ideas and inspiration flow out on the page. So tip number 2 is to have a vision board. Now, I've talked about this in so many other videos, and you guys are probably rolling your eyes to the sky and going, all right, Steph, I get it. Have goals, have a vision board. But it's really important for inspiration, because again, having that North Star, having that goal to get towards will start to kind of, your brain will start to reverse engineer it. So you'll start to think, if I want to make £10,000 this year, how can I do that? And then your brain starts to work backwards. So you think, well, ideally I'd like to have bigger orders. How do I get bigger orders? I'll get in wholesale clients. How do I get in wholesale clients? I need to make products that can be easily sold in gift shops or at craft fairs and things like that. How can I make those products? And you'll literally work back from there. And this has worked wonders for me. Literally, whenever I'm feeling really uninspired and unmotivated and just a little bit blah, I use my goal, my ultimate, well, goals as my North Star, and this can really, really help you when you're feeling just not very inspired. My next tip is to get outside. It has been scientifically proven that if you get outside, your brain space just literally starts to declutter. You blow out the cobwebs, you get all of your problems out of your mind, you start to see them from a different perspective, and you get inspiration from nature. I can't really describe it in any other way, but you see the beauty around you. Let's say you go out for a walk by the beach or something like that. There's the sand, there's the waves, there's everything around you. And I can't tell you how much I have appreciated this, especially when I've been feeling really rubbish and unmotivated. I have been obsessing over problems. I've been stuck indoors. I've been all up in my head about specific problems. Come away, those problems seem so much smaller, and then I have the mental capacity to welcome ideas and inspiration in. Again, it's a really difficult one to kind of try to explain, but believe me, it does work. So if you're feeling very stuck and unmotivated and just a little bit, then go outside, go for a walk in the forest or by the beach, or just go out for a walk around your town or something like that, and get outside. And believe me, this will help you loads. Also with that is that you have to be very mindful. Now, I am a kind of meditation practicer, so this might be very woo-woo for you guys, but what I tend to do is I get very, very, very mindful. I get very into my walk. So for example, if I'm going out for a walk in the forest, I'll notice every tree trunk pattern, every flower, every bird, every noise, every breath of wind. Literally, I notice everything, and it's a kind of meditation walk, if you like. So I don't think about anything else. I'm just thinking about me walking, my feet touching the ground, how soft the ground is, how hard the ground is. Literally every flower, leaf, whatever, I notice it. And again, that does kind of take you out of your own mind, and then you have the space for inspiration to flow. So just another little tip there. So the next tip is I like to clean and declutter. Our minds are so heavily involved with our environment. So you guys might be wondering, why has she redone her office for like the second time in 2 months? That was because my old office before just wasn't in service of me getting ideas. And obviously because I have a handmade business and I do YouTube, inspiration is a really big part of my weekly, daily process. So in order for that to happen, I had to redo my office, clean it, declutter it, which I have done. And now the inspiration is literally just flowing in. So I know it sounds very, very strange, but again, it's a very mindful process. Cleaning, decluttering, hoovering, dusting, wiping, all of these wonderful things. Honestly, it does really, really help get you out of your head and away from all of the little problems that's cluttering up your mind, and also the physical space. If you've got cups and pens and notepads and candles and bits of supplies and things everywhere, honestly, that's not really going to help you get inspired and kind of get out of your own way. And also, if you're sat at a desk with all that clutter on, all you're thinking about is, I must tidy this desk, I must do that, I must do this. And it's almost like your to-do list is like right there all the time, and that's not really fun. Clean workspace, clear mind welcomes inspiration and new ideas. Honestly, give it a go. Next tip is be open to learning. And this one might sound like a really, really weird one, but I used to like really just not do a lot, and that sounds bizarre, but anything like if my friend said, do you want to go bowling? Or my husband said, do you want to go watch a football game or something like that? I just go, I'm not really interested in that. No thanks. And now I just say yes. I just literally say yes to most things. I mean, some things I'll be like, no, that's really not up my street. But a lot of things I'll just say yes to. And this is the same with learning a new skill, something like that. If you have the opportunity to go and do something new that you've never done before, just do it and see whether that opens up new inspirational avenues for you. So a good example of this is I went to my first football game at our local stadium last weekend. And I'm not really into football all that much, but my husband is, and I thought, all right, I'll go, you know. And I went, I really enjoyed it. And just seeing all the people around us just getting really into it and working together for a common goal just really just cleared my mind. And honestly, random, but I had so many ideas and things during that game that I was writing down so much. So honestly, things like that can really, really help. Learning a new skill as well, even if it's online. If you go onto Voucher and Groupon, all of that type of thing, literally learn something completely new and random. Don't make it business related at all. So for example, what did I do? I did a makeup and beauty course, and I mean it wasn't very good, but it gave me something to focus on. I began to learn guitar, so again that gave me something creative to focus on outside of business. I have begun to paint again. That's kind of taken me as a creative process outside of my business. So picking up a new skill or learning something new is honestly really beneficial for your inspiration. And the last tip that kind of stems off of my last tip is be creative for yourself more often. I was so guilty of this. I'm very creative, really, really creative. A lot of things that I pick up, I just make into new things, like even small things. Like if someone hands me a blob of blue tack and a paper clip, I'll like bend it out and make things, even though like it's just random objects. I'll make it into something creative. If I'm making dinner and I'm putting like chips on a baking tray, I'll make it into a shape and put it on the plate in a shape. Really random things like that, but be creative for yourself more often. I was guilty of this. I always used to create things and then think, I could open an Etsy shop doing this or something like that. No, be creative for yourself more often. Even if that involves the craft that you do for your business, do it for yourself more often. Just enjoy the process of the craft. I do this as well with my jewellery. Every so often, I will just make a piece for myself. Just out of the blue, I'll just be sat there and I'll think, you know what, I don't wear jewellery enough, so I'll make a piece that I love, that I engrave with something that I love. And it's a really lovely way to kind of get the inspiration flowing for you as well, because you have more creative freedom when you're doing something for no particular monetary purpose, only for yourself. you then kind of, the floodgates open and you allow yourself to be fully open and creative. And again, this can lead to some really good ideas and let the inspiration flow. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to join our free Facebook group in the description box below. Honestly, it's really built into such a fantastic community and I love it so much. You guys are all so supportive and lovely and wonderful. So I will leave the link for that in the description box below. I also have my 30 days to a Kick Butt Etsy shop workbook below, 74 pages, and it's free. So go and get it, it's really useful. And give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I shall see you in the next video. See you later guys, bye!